Samuel had spent his life working with precision. As a machinist in Birmingham, his eyes once measured tolerance to fractions of a millimeter. Steel, gauges, moving parts. His vision was his livelihood. But vision had a way of leaving quietly. The diagnosis came years ago: primary open-angle glaucoma. Genetic, progressive, unforgiving. The kind that steals sight from the edges inward, slowly tightening the world until familiar rooms feel hostile. He retired earlier than planned, not because his hands failed, but because his eyes could no longer be trusted. Winter pressed hard that year. From the library window, Samuel strained to make out the outlines of bare trees, their branches blurring into a grey ache. Frustration rose sharply. The world felt like it was slipping away just beyond reach. Inside, though, the library was warm, quiet, the hum of heating pipes, the soft scrape of chairs, and beneath his fingertips, raised dots, Braille, small, deliberate, honest. World Braille Day posters stood near the entrance, speaking of digital empowerment, independence, inclusion. Samuel almost laughed. Independence had felt like a word for other people lately. Inaccessible spaces followed him everywhere. Touch screens without audio, signage without contrast, pavements cluttered with obstacles he could not see until they betrayed him. His daughter, Vanessa, sat nearby, pretending to read while watching him learn. She was learning too, how to wait, how to listen, how not to rush him. Patience, Samuel realized, was a language they were both being taught. As his fingers moved, slowly at first, something shifted. The dot spoke, not loudly, but faithfully. Meaning arrived without sight. Trust formed without certainty. And then a pause, a line he could not decipher. His fingers hovered, fear tightened. What if I cannot finish this sentence? The room held its breath. Samuel pressed on. What he did not yet know was this: faith was being rewired, not through eyes, but through touch, not through control, but through trust. And the story was only beginning. If you are afraid of losing what once defined you, if the world feels increasingly difficult to navigate, this prayer is for you. God's promises are not limited by what we can see. Faithful Creator, you formed me with more than one way to know you. When sight fades, you do not withdraw. You draw closer. I confess my fear of dependence, my frustration with inaccessible spaces, my grief over what has changed. Teach me to trust you beyond what I see. Sharpen my other senses, to hear more deeply, to feel more carefully, to discern your presence by touch and truth. For those living with glaucoma, vision loss, or unseen struggle, be their guide and their strength. I place my hands in yours. Lead me forward. Amen.